Hey guys, how are you? Happy Tuesday. I hope that your Memorial Day was absolutely amazing. I hope that you enjoyed the great weather and that Tuesday is treating you well. So, weeks like this are always a little weird because they're shorter. It's even weirder because it's shorter, but we're still at home for some of us, unless you're essential or already back to work. God bless you. And so I just wanted to pop in today first to tell you that I'm super excited about this lineup that I have coming up for these power lunches. So at least once a week, you're going to hear my daughter in the background microwaving right at the moment that I'm going live. Yes, I'm giving her a look. um, because I am have been lining up some amazing guests to spend time with me during this time. And so tomorrow I have Jacqueline Nickelberry joining me all the way from Miami. And I have Lakeisha Russell joining me the next day, licensed professional therapist. And we're just going to talk about navigating through the time with our children and mental health, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month and coming to an end. So I thought that important. And I have Cecilia Gore, if you're from Milwaukee. She needs no introduction. I have Melissa Goins going to join me and talk about the pivot she recently made in her career with going back to school. I have Karan Cook joining me from Texas. I could go on and on and on. Denise Thomas is joining me. And so just make sure you stay tuned for the announcements that are happening as far as my guests. But today, you just get me. So some days you just get me, other days you'll get guests. I called this The Pursuit of Fearlessness because I heard a story this weekend that really inspired me. And as someone who coaches startup professionals in particular, it is often that one of the biggest things that I am trying to coach them through is their fear of failing, their fear of selling themselves, their fear of public speaking, their fear of getting it wrong, their fear of how the message will be perceived, their fear of investing in the business. Like, there's just so many reasons that people are fearful, and they like to package it in other synonyms, like I'm apprehensive about this, I'm concerned about that, my experience has been, and I'm quick to always point out, basically you're just using another word for fear. And so fear is always going to be there. I know I say this all of the time, but you have to look fear in the face. And I forgot what movie it is. And there's a little kid, he says, fear, ha ha ha. I laugh in the face of fear. If you know what movie that is, say it in the comments. And whoever's out there, say hello. Hello. Good morning. I haven't said hello to you guys. Tell me what's up. Tell me hey. Tell me you can hear me. So this pursuit of fearless or being fearless. And a lot of times what I find, and Unica and I spoke about this last Friday. If you haven't replayed last Friday, you do yourself a favor, because it's going to get you hyped for the week. And matter of fact, and I'm wearing my blackboard and chalk shirt that says never quit. Shout out to one of my sisters, Kiana Jason, her husband, who have blackboard and chalk, and all their attire has some amazing messaging on it. Hey, Joanna. Hey, Delia. So anyway, and I'm not going to pretend like fear doesn't grip me. I mean, there are times, and there have been times on this journey of the Power Network, where I have invested in large scale events or classes or learning or merchandise, and the merchandise is set in my basement because it didn't sell. Hey, Kalisa. The event didn't have as many people show up as expected, and the bills have to get paid. But that's part of this journey. That's part of this journey of trying to get where it is you believe your purpose to be. There's going to be some wins and there's going to be some losses. And I will tell you that it is not in the wins that I learn my strength and my biggest lessons. It's in the losses, because then I know how much merchandise to order in the future. I know how much space to rent out for a venue. I know what clients to take and who not to take, and so every time something doesn't go the way you thought it would go, then you get stronger and you learn the lesson from it. Melina, why are you rolling your eyes at me? I want to know. So anyway, so let me back to the story I heard this weekend. So I posted that I kind of had felt like I was in a funk. It was probably like Friday, Saturday, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And so I said, the best way I know through is act. And so I go through my funk until I'm out of it. And one of the things that brings me great joy and great peace when I'm feeling in a funk is music. And so I tend to, take YouTube and look for old stuff, new stuff, etc. So I stumble upon a recording of Jonathan McReynolds live. Love Jonathan McReynolds. And it is his new recording for his latest album, which is Make Room. And so in between the one of the songs, he's talking about how there's two different type of roller coaster riders. And so there's the roller coaster rider that gets in and then you put the safety device down and they're holding onto it like this. And the whole ride, they're holding onto it like this. And they're just like, and they're feeling all the ups and downs and they're going. And then there's the other type of roller coaster rider that gets in, safety device goes down, and the whole time their arms are up like this, and they are just screaming their heads off. They're like, ah! And they're having the time of their life. And he said, he tends to be one of those like this. And he said, God said to him, well, what if in this season of life, I want you to be like this? Because at the end of the day, whether you're like this or you're like this, you've gotten on the ride, you're feeling the same ups and downs, the same swerves and turns, you're having the same challenges, fear, etc., that the other person riding it like this is having. But because of their faith in this ride that they're on and their willingness to just take it for wherever it comes, it's much more of an exhilarating ride for them than the person who's holding on like this. My husband and I had a conversation about it, and he was just like, well, some people just don't like roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters, but you do. And that's true. But at the end of the day, you can use this analogy about life. We're all going to be on some type of roller coaster in our life. And so you can make a choice to either be like this or to be like this. And I'm a like this kind of person most of the time. Now, I would say that at the end of the day, you're going to be on some type of ride. And so, no, every ride is not enjoyable. And yeah, it doesn't feel good when your stomach is dropping. And the reason I'm using that analogy today in this pursuit towards fearlessness, because that's how it feels when we're starting a business. That's how it feels when we're birthing our baby out into the world. And we're trying to figure out if the world's going to think our baby ugly, or if the world's going to receive it, or if the world's going to buy from our baby. It's a scary thing. And there are times that it just don't work out. We just birth something that just flops and it just fails. But as long as you fail forward with that, then and there are things beyond our circumstances. Hey, lady, with this pandemic, there have been businesses brought to their knees for something beyond their circumstances. But I would say that even though we could not plan for anything like this, you can never plan for anything like this. You can have contingencies in place so your business is not a one-trick pony, and that if something does happen, I think my prayer is that what everyone learned through this is that there needs to be a plan B. I used to work for AT&T for many years selling technology. And one of the biggest sellers was contingency planning years ago, because as everything was moving to the cloud, it became very evident to the executives at AT&T that the cloud could go down. Or if all the servers that housed the cloud were in the same corporate headquarters as the business, if the building blew, the cloud would blow. And so that being said, I made a lot of money selling contingency centers to people and selling places for them to house backup servers, which right now, a lot of businesses are moving in their contingency plans. And us as small and medium business owners need to take note of what some of the large people do, because we don't even need to make the same type of investments that a Facebook or a Google or a bank or a Target or a Walmart has to make in order to keep their operations going. And so a little investment can go a long way for you. But what would you do? What would you do? And we should have those things for our life too. Well, that's why you have homeowners insurance or renters insurance or auto insurance. It's all about contingency planning for the what if. And so many of us don't like to think about the what if. We like to think about the what's happening now. And that's just not a smart way to live life, because life insurance is another one, because at the end of the day, with the way things are happening, we just don't know. And failing to plan is planning to fail. So something else I wanted to share. I use this in my brand building class. Hopefully you can see it. I think you can. I could have just shared my screen and been real fancy. But one of the first things you learn if you take any type of business or marketing class in college is about making a SWOT analysis. SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And on that piece of paper that I just showed you, the middle of the SWOT analysis that I created for my class says, brand me. And so I always encourage students of mine to think about brand them. And this can be your personal brand, or this can be the professional brand you're building, and literally write down what the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are as it relates to your brand. And so what happens, when I did this for myself, and I talk about this often, one of the weaknesses that was on my list was the fact that if social media went down, how would I keep my business going? Excuse me. One of the weaknesses on my list, excuse me, something went down the wrong way. One of the weaknesses on my list also was if there were no more events, large-scale events, for me to do the event planning for, which had become such a huge chunk of my business, how would I keep my business going? Threats, competition, some new platform coming out, somebody automating some of the things I do, opportunities for growth, training and development, diversity and inclusion, speaking, social architecture, strengths. I hope that you yourself and the gifts that you bring to the table are at the top of your strength list. And then also the collaborators you work with and opportunities and, things to learn. So I definitely recommend that you do the SWOT analysis. What does that have to do with fear, Chaun? Because the more confident you are, the less scared you are. The more you know your stuff, the more that you really understand who you are, what you bring to the table, what you're capable of, and you become really good at what you do, the less scary it is, because you know that you know your stuff. You know that you got this. I speak to individuals all the time that are worried about public speaking, and they're really scared to do it. It makes them uncomfortable. And my advice is always practice, practice, practice. And I'm talking about look at the computer, record yourself, put yourself in some uncomfortable positions that you have to introduce yourself to some strangers, and you have to give what I call your superhero story versus your elevator pitch. And so I don't concern myself about speaking publicly. Hey, Therese, because that's something that I just decided that I'm going to do well and that I'm going to speak well all the time. And so when I open my mouth, I'm not going to accidentally say something that I feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. And it's funny because I used to tease my mom growing up about when she would answer the phone and it would be a work call. The definition for SWOT, and it's SWOT, it's an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you need to understand your strengths, you need to understand your weaknesses, you need to understand your opportunities and your threats. And I would say a SWOT analysis is something dope to do for your life, for your business, for your brand. You can make one of these and put your kid in the middle and be like, what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that are coming against this child in the name of Jesus? Because the thing is, and if you notice on this page, then I have an arrow that leads to purpose. Because if you can figure out what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are, and you can take all of this information and compile it, then it's real easy to move towards purpose, because then you have a better understanding of you. And so I definitely recommend that exercise for everyone. And you can do it in different areas. And there's all kinds of SWOT analysis out if you Google it. You don't have to, this is one that I had my graphic designer do for me, that I use in classes that I teach, which there is a class coming up this Thursday. It's just $49 for Brand Builder. And we are going to really deep dive in like building a COVID-proof brand, into the SWOT analysis, into the latest and greatest of social media, because that's changed even since I taught the last class. So you don't want to miss it. It's a 2-hour masterclass being taught via Zoom. You do have to register and pay the fee in order to get access to the class. Small investment, priceless impact. I have there's hundreds of women out that have gone through the Brand Builder Bootcamp cohorts and that are out here and they have launched their business. I would say 80% plus of them have launched their business, or if they were already business owners, have seen improvement in their business from going through this class. I get messages, notes, tagged on things every single day of people saying how that class impacted their life. And I'm super thankful for that. So you can register at powernetwork.org/events. So, hey, Denise. Yes, Denise went through the cohort, and she has the First Wives Club, and she is just out here soaring. Thank you so much for recommending it. She's all the way from North Carolina. Well, she's from Milwaukee, but she lives in North Carolina. So that's the other thing, too. The class has people that join in from all over the country, and I'm super thankful for that. So it's $49, which Denise knows that it's normally $99. It's $49 because of COVID. And I've just really made a concerted effort to try to be cognizant of the fact that even if you are essential and you're still getting your full paycheck, your bills have still increased because your kids are at home eating you out of house and home, or, using more electricity and all of these other things. So anyway, be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. That's behind me. And the best is yet to come. Mind matters. Everything we're talking about is mindset. So you're either going to be faith and fear, both require us to believe in something we can't see. And I choose faith. I choose to have faith, and I choose to believe in that faith, because it's one thing to have it. It's another thing to also believe in it. So definitely just want to leave you with that. So tomorrow, Jacqueline Nickelberry is going to be on with me, philanthropist, retired lawyer, as she calls her. Isn't it nice to be a retired lawyer at 43 years old? We graduated from high school together. Got her JD from Georgetown Law, so not like some retired lawyer from some internet law school, but spent many years in New York City as an entertainment lawyer for some of the who's who, and now has just dedicated her life to giving back. She was on the board of the Apollo Theater, currently serves on the board of the Harlem School of the Arts, recently did some things with Dapper Dan, and most recently started what we like to call a micro giving movement to help a macro problem that is now going city to city. And I am very thankful to be one of her partners in that initiative. And we'll talk to you more about that tomorrow. But Jackie is fun because at the end of the day, she's just a girl from the Chi. And I love that about her. So, and she also is like super wellness guru, got abs of steel, and all that good stuff too. So be here tomorrow at noon, and then be here Thursday at noon to talk to Lakeisha Russell, and then be here, sign up for Thursday night for the class. And yeah, I think that's it. It's only 12:20. I'm early. Y'all got some questions? I'm very efficient today, obviously. I really want to tell my roller coaster story. I want to tell it this weekend. And I think I've done all my shameless plugs. I might just let you go early today because tomorrow's going to be, whenever I have a guest, it's a whole hour. So I think that I've said all I had to say. If you have any questions, hit me up. Peace, love, power. I'm out.